Hello and welcome back to Venture Care at Home. We are coming out with a brand new package. It is our safari themed package and we have some really great crafts in this one and a game. We'll also be posting a read aloud to the YouTube channel, so make sure you check back for more content. The craft we're doing today is our Safari at Sunset craft. So you're gonna have a few items in your care package. You have these scratch art picture frames. They're actually magnetic scratch art picture frames, which I got from S&S. You will have watercolor paper that's cut down to fit with your frames. And you have these adorable little cutouts. One is a tree and a giraffe that are gonna go onto your painting. In addition, you also have 4 glue dots, 4 per person, which is just to attach our watercolor paper to our magnetic frame. I'm gonna put those off to the side for now, as well as our cutouts and our frame. What you'll need from your own stash of craft goodies is some watercolor paints, whatever you have, a brush and a cup of water. And then for later, you need something to scratch your scratch art frame with. It could be a popsicle stick, a pencil, a coin, whatever you want to use works. So to get started, you're gonna want to also have a paper towel on hand because again, we're using our watercolors and we know those can get a little messy sometimes. And to prepare our watercolors, we always get some water onto the paints. So because I'm doing a Safari at Sunset painting, I'm mostly going to be using my sunset colors. So my oranges and pinks and yellows and maybe a little red. And I might just do some green at the very bottom, but you know, there's not a whole lot of green in the Safari. It's, you know, a lot of desert-like arid conditions. So we would usually see a lot of, I'm going to put just a little bit of green towards the bottom, especially since my green, it has a lot of yellow undertones. Okay, and you use your paper towel to blot your color off. And then I'm going to go into my yellows. So this is going to be almost like an ombre effect, right? And from my yellows, I'm going to go into my orange. And then during sunset, you get all the really pretty like pinks and blues. So I'm going to add to this pink that's going to be coming in the top. Okay, and you could just kind of go back through, adding some in, just like that. And it's pretty simple for this one because it's a small palette. So once you have, I like the effects of what I have here. So I'm going to keep it simple. You could of course add more to your liking, but I think this is good for me. So I'm gonna close. It's always important to make sure you close back up your watercolors so they don't dry out. And now I just have to let this dry. And in the meantime, I can work on my scratch art frame. So I'm gonna bring this back over. And I am going to use my pencil to start with to show you where I could use the, I know you have some of these from your craft kit. So if you want to take them out and use them before you do your other craft, you could do that also. And you could do this however you want. You could scratch the whole thing. It'll just be like rainbow and colorful, or you can make a design on it. I think I'm going to make a design. And it's super simple. So anything that you have, it could even be coins, pennies, nickels. You can use it to scratch, just like a scratcher ticket. And you can use it to do your frames. So you can see as I scratch off, I'm making a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. All that easily comes together. You can brush that off later. I love how colorful these are. And so I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to follow along with my stripes. And this is just my design. You do whatever design you'd like. And I'll do the same thing. So I'm kind of making this to look like the some of the different African tribal designs you see. And all the really beautiful, colorful fabrics. Okay. So I'll just clean up my mess here. Look at that. I love how that looks. So let's check back to our watercolor paper. It's still a little bit damp. And so I don't want to add the glue dots too soon because they won't want to stick if this is still wet. So you want to make sure that your watercolor paper gets really good and dry. So we're going to give that just another minute to dry, and then we will assemble our craft. Okay, so I think our paper here is pretty dry. I am going to turn my frame over and get my glue dots. And I'm going to apply one to every corner. So So you want it to be pretty close to the edge of the frame so that it catches your paper, because the paper is cut perfectly to fit. If you find it easier to attach it to the paper and then onto the frame, you could do that too. I'll try to hold this a little closer so you could see where I put my glue dots. See, they are right on the edge. So when I put this down, okay, so you want to make sure that you're putting it down with the white side facing up so that when we turn it over, the picture is there. Give it a good push. Isn't that beautiful? And lastly, we need our glue stick. So you go ahead and grab whichever glue stick you have handy. Okay. And you're going to want to just apply glue to the back of your tree. And I would say start with the tree first so that you have a good idea of where to place your giraffe. So let's start with the tree. And I'm just going to put it right down at the bottom, like so. And again, give it a good push down so it's adhered directly to the watercolor paper. Okay, and it's okay if you have a couple little edges that aren't down all the way, as long as the majority of it has a good holding to the paper. And lastly, we have our really adorable little giraffe who's going to be looking up towards the tree. So you could put it here, you could have it under the tree, you could have it all the way over here. It's completely up to you. I think I'm going to put him just under the tree. And again, you're going to add your glue. I find this easier sometimes to do right on my fingertips rather than on the table. And I'm going to give him a push down. And that is our Safari at Sunset craft. I hope you enjoyed making this one. You can go ahead and, it is magnetic, put it on your refrigerators or your cabinets and take pictures and send them to me. You know, I love to see all of your wonderful artwork.